It has been a couple days since the announcement of level 16 and the final November 2025 update, which comes out on the 24th of November, a week and a half time from today. And there's been a lot of time to kind of digest and really get a good idea of all that's coming with this change. And I thought I'd just talk about some of the things that I'm doing in preparation for this update in the week and a half span. Now, the first thing to note is I'm sure you guys have seen a ton of videos on this already, but I am saving my gold. You'll see that I have 455,000 gold. It's taken me about a week to get up to that point. I had like 0 not too long ago, and it's solely because I'm not upgrading any cards, which you guys know the cost to upgrade cards and the cards required per card has gone down quite drastically. So if you jump into my collection as well and look at some of the wild cards, the other thing I'm doing is I'm saving wild cards. I have 148 epic and 17 legendary. That is going to be my primary focus when it comes to my specific deck. Obviously, you can note that there's 1, 2, 3 epic cards, 1, 2, 3 legendary cards, and then I have the 2 rare cards. So I should almost instantly be able to upgrade all 4 of these cards to level 15. And then the legendary, I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade this, or maybe I'll upgrade Princess to 16. It's going to kind of be a how much gold and how many wild cards do I have and how many can I obtain in the next week and a half. If we actually jump over the Pass Royale, you'll notice that I haven't claimed my epic wild cards and my legendary wild cards as of recent, because I worried that if I max this out with lucky drops, I would start getting just random cards. Obviously, when you pull a lucky drop and you're maxed on like a card like I'm maxed common wild cards, it'll just give me a random common card. And I want the wild cards if I can get them. And I also really don't want to pull any of the elite wild cards now that they're going to be gone. I'm probably going to dump all 18,771 elite wild cards into the minor, and that way when the update goes live, the elite wild cards are going to transfer into just actual cards for the minor, which is how they're doing it if you have a card in upgrade with the elite wild cards. That being said, if you would prefer gems for those elite wild cards, which is what's going to happen with all of the elite wild cards you haven't used, they will get converted to gems, which isn't also a bad idea, especially because there are supposed to be some reworks on how you can spend gems. You should be able to buy cards and whatnot. And the big thing that I'm doing right now actively is I've been grinding masteries. So if you jump over here, I've actually saved a couple to collect while you guys are watching. So you can see that's 3,000 gold right there for just doing an Ice Spirit level 3. The next one we have is, let's not do that one. Let's do the Rascals first. Another 3,000 for the Rascals. And I'm working on another level of the Rascals for another 2,000 gold. And then the Royal Ghost, this is 8,000 gold for the Royal Ghost level 3. And if you look down, once I upgrade the Royal Ghost, I can go to 12,000 gold, which is going to be quite nice, I won't lie. It's crazy how good masteries are for getting gold. I think right now it's the best way to acquire gold outside of obviously getting lucky on a lucky drop. You know, I've got a 4-star lucky drop earlier today that had, I think it's like 46,000 gold in it, which is awesome, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's not a surefire method of getting gold. So I don't know, this is my thought, is that I'm gonna save up as much gold as I can. I'm gonna try to get as much wild cards as I can for the cards that I'm specifically using. And then we're kind of just gonna go from, oh, we're playing a level 14, let's go. But yeah, we're kind of just gonna go from there. I think I'm gonna take my, I really hate this start. I think I'm gonna kind of take my time with the update. I'm not too worried about how it's gonna play out. I'm just gonna try to maximize what I can do in the lead up to the update, like I said. And you know, we'll see kind of how that goes. But if I have the option to, this is an insane start, by the way. I can't believe he just got hogged back off rip like that. This could be bad because he's going to play cannon middle probably. I could minor and take care of it. I mean, I kind of just wasted a Mega Knight here. That's okay though. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to get some minor chip damage. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. But as I was saying, we're just going to kind of let things play out the way they do. We'll see what happens. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm really only hoping that I can find a way to just kind of, like I said, maximize my potential with the cards that I'm going to have. I know that there's going to be some different ways of doing so, but at the same time, I think that I have a good idea of how I want to do it, and I'm kind of just going to have to... That was a really good play. I didn't know he had poison. This is a really weird deck that we're up against, I'm not gonna lie. I'm assuming he puts skeletons at the bridge, which my Dark Goblin can take care of, fortunately. Ah, that's a good spot for that too. Though we might kill it before the miner dies. Oh, cannon. We might get a hit. Okay, we'll take that. He's got a skeleton here. You know what I could do? That's crazy, by the way. I can't believe one of those got a hit. That's okay, though. That was a perfectly placed vines that took care of the, took care of our little ice spirit. I think I'm just going to play, Inferno Tower. One of the nice things about this update that I know a lot of people are going to say a lot of bad things about, but I'm really excited for the possibility of getting my cards basically maxed out. You know, I haven't had maxed out cards. I mean, I have 3 cards that are maxed out currently, which is just simply not cutting it for the league that I'm in. That's for certain. He's playing a level 16 Musk. We're going to do this. He probably bar barrels this, I'm going to guess. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Okay, this is fine. I like this. Perfect. Now we go in. Now we go in. We'll do this. He doesn't have his bar barrel back in rotation. He finally gets it back. That's going to kill that. We got great damage there. That's still going crazy. We can do this to put pressure down. I'll take care of that. And hopefully that kills that for me. Perfect. Now this is going to be problematic if I don't go in right now, because that Hog Rider does so much damage. Ah, that's really unfortunate. Okay, this is okay though. We can still come back from this. We have double Princess down. We're going to have to play a high Inferno, well, relatively speaking. He plays Poison, which is fine. And neither of my princesses make it through that. That is unfortunate. Now we're out of our Evos too, which sucks, but we're going to do a high skeleton army to take care of this musketeer. Just like this. We'll put the miner in early. We're going to vines this. Then we're going to throw an off-centered bar barrel because we haven't played one of these yet. And we're going to hope that he misses his... he doesn't though. That's unfortunate. But what's really good about this is we're on the tower. And that's going to be GG's. Perfect. A great way to end the night. I mean, it's time for me to go to bed, to be honest. But 140 trophies. Was he that much lower than me? Doesn't matter. Either way, we got the one thing that I really wanted out of this. Do I collect this? I think I'm going to leave this here for when the update drops, because a couple things could happen. I could pull a Mega Knight, I could pull a Princess, I could pull a Miner and get 1,500 Elite Wildcards. But when the transfer comes over from Elite Wildcards, I think it's going to be more than 1,500 Elite Wildcards per Legendary card, if that makes sense. I think it's going to be closer to maybe like 5,000 Elite Wildcards per one Legendary card. So I feel like it's better to wait and hope that I pull a card that I need once the update goes live in a week and a half. So I'm going to leave that there. We do have one of these to open. Here's another thing that I've been debating in my mind is, should I even open these? If you pull a Legendary that you already have, you're going to get Elite Wildcards, and that's not really ideal. But more times than not, I'm only pulling golden cards that I already have anyways. So I don't really have a problem with pulling or opening my lucky drops. As you can see, I've finished the past royale. And then the one last question I want to ask you guys while I have you, if you don't mind, I have 3 shards. Problem is, I only have 3 shards already unlocked for Witch and Inferno Dragon. Also Barbarians. Oh, and I just got the last one for the Skeleton Barrel. But definitely not doing Barbarians. The Inferno Dragon's really good, but I don't think I would have a deck right now to use it with. I would have done the Royal Ghost if I had 3 for the Royal Ghost. I would have done the Valkyrie if I had 2 more for the Valkyrie. I am kind of leaning towards Witch, but I also could make the case that Skeleton Barrel with a Zap-based deck is like the way to go. I'm obviously running, you know, with my... To be fair, the more I play this deck at these higher levels, the more I'm kind of relying on putting down a Mega Knight and then kind of baiting out a log and throwing a Goblin Barrel. You know, there's different ways to kind of play this deck, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a log bait deck. You got the Princess, you got the Skarmy, you got, I mean, 4 of these cards are log bait. And obviously it originated as Zap bait, but things change, time changes. So the question comes down to, what do I use these 3 shards on? Because obviously it's worth getting another evolution, especially when I only have 3 to begin with. I'm leaning towards Witch. I'm also thinking to myself, if I do run Witch, I have Witch evolution that's started at the very least. I don't know how far I have to scroll down to find it. I mean, if you look at all these, I have so many going. Here it is. So, and both of them are good gold. So that's actually probably a good move. Where's Skeleton Barrel? Let's take a peek at that, shall we? I don't even know if I have Skeleton Barrel started. I should, because I feel like I've done enough challenges with the Skeleton Barrel in it to be kind of going a little bit. I'm really hoping I just missed it and passed it on the way up, because I feel like there's no chance. There it is. So this is, see, this isn't as a good of a deal. I mean, 200 Skeleton Barrels is fine, but I guess it's probably just due to the rarity, I would imagine. I'm not too sure how masteries work off the top of my head. I'd have to do more research into it. But I think it's more dependent on, like, if we look at the Little Prince, like, 1,000 gold for winning 5 battles. That doesn't help me because it's not going to tell me what I needed to. Okay, let's look at the Archer Queen. The Archer Queen is a card and 15,000 gold. So yeah, it's got to be, the rarity is going to get you more gold, I'm going to imagine at the very least. But, you know, with the Witch, obviously she's not very high level to begin with. I do have enough cards to upgrade her. I think that the Witch is a good option. And once this update goes live, it's going to be much easier to upgrade the Witch anyways. But at the same time, it also could be, there could be an argument saying that I could also do the Skeleton. The Skeleton Barrel has 4,000 cards for it already. I could probably get this thing close to max. I might be able to max this card out the day the update drops, because I have 4,000 cards right there. And then if we go over here, I have 6,400 common cards already ready to go. I could probably max the Skeleton Barrel on the first day. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Witch. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think in the comments. Let me know. And the only other thing I wanted to touch on surrounding kind of that idea of gold upgrading cards, if we look at some of these cards, I've been doing the math, and I obviously have 5 cards that's going to cost 90,000 gold to get to the next level, level 15, which means I need 450,000 gold, which I have 472,000 right now. Meaning, if I had all the elite wild cards for these, which I don't have enough epics at the moment, potentially I will be close with the book of epics when it gets transferred to, I think it's 120 or so. I'll be close probably to getting 2.5, I'm going to imagine, of these done. I also obviously have in the past royale a couple more. I got 10 right there and another 10 right there. So it'll be close. But once I get those done, the next upgrade, if I'm not mistaken, is maybe 120,000 to go to level 16. I think it's around that range. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to say, let's just assume it's 120,000 gold to get to level 16, meaning I would need an extra 120 on top of 450 just for my cards to be all level 15 and have 1 card at level 16, which brings our grand total to 570,000, which is mental to think about. If we really want to do the math, we're going to do 8, obviously, and then for 450,000 plus obviously 120,000, 8 times, which is 8 times 12, which is 64. Is that? No, that doesn't sound right. What is that? That's going to be, oh yeah, it's way off. I just absolutely butchered that math. It's going to be somewhere around 96. I think it's 96. So it's going to be 960K on top of 450K. I'm much better with math when it comes to running and mileage and stuff. Mental math in my head is not my strong suit. I went to an art school at the end of the day, but I think that's the correct math. So 450, 960, which comes out to, what is that, 1.41 million, I think. 1.41 sounds about right. I'll have to do the math on that. I'll have to get back to you, but for my cards alone at the very least, and it's always possible I could get enough elite wild cards for the miner to be completely maxed out and then upgrade the miner without having to use gold. That's the one nice thing about elite wild cards, is it didn't cost gold to upgrade. But 1.4 million, I would need an extra million in a week and a half. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get an extra 1.4 million, especially when I've completed the pass. I am only getting the lucky loop drops, so I don't imagine that that's going to be very possible. But with Mastery, that will help get me up there. I mean, I've just been running 2v2s. So I go on a 2v2 and I just make this, like this is the deck that I currently have with all these going into Masteries. If we go look at my battle log, I mean, okay, these are a lot of defeats, but granted, they were all like relatively close. We're not getting 3 crowned, but I'm just using a really bad deck. So, yeah, you can see I've just been running 2v2s basically all day. I can't remember the last time I didn't run a 2v2 at this point. Here we go. This is Clan Wars. Clan Wars is the last time I didn't run a 2v2. So and speaking of, Clan Wars is also a good way to get gold because I think a win is, there you go, 400 gold. So, you know, do your Clan War attacks, especially once War Day starts. You know, I always do those, but it's one other way to get gold at the end of the day. But anyways, I'm yapping. There's no point in talking any more than that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to go get some dinner. Take care. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.